All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We're coming to you live here from the PhD Speed Gaming event in Chicago, bringing you all the awesome board game coverage all day long. As usual, I'm Matt, and right now I am joined with Anthony from Ninja Division. How you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Always a pleasure. So I see a couple things on the table here, and I'm really intrigued by the first one because it's clear cards, and typically we show off cards that have green on them, and people think that they're clear cards, and it causes mass confusion. But these are actually clear cards. So what are we showing off today here?
So this is Rainbow Knights. Rainbow Knights is a real-time strategy game that plays really, really fast. It feels a lot like Tron Light Cycles or Snake and Centipede played in real time.
Okay.
So it's a ton of fun. The way that these clear cards that we were just talking about, because we were asking ourselves questions on how that would look with the green screen, and they look beautiful. Super happy that worked out the way it did. So what you're doing here is you're building trails through the sky as fast as you can. You're basically trying to take up as much table space as you can and build the longest trail without running into your own trail, somebody else's trail, an obstacle, or outside of the play area. So you would just, as quickly as you can,
and you have to line them up so the clouds overlap.
Right. So you're building a trail in that way. So this way wouldn't work. Because if that were a better card, then maybe you might be tempted to swing that direction to avoid an obstacle or somebody else. But the cards, you do kind of have to look at where you're placing and where you're going. So
okay. So are these dual-sided or no?
They're not.
They're singular-sided.
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't
Just
sure if we could
single-sided.
flip them over and then change our directions or something like that. So that would be how we're connecting those cards together. And you could see me in there. So you mentioned that this is a real-time game.
yes.
So explain to me how that works. Everyone's playing these cards simultaneously?
Absolutely. So 2 to 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to have their knight. There's 6 colors, so the trails are all different colored. You divide your deck of cards into 2 different piles. You're going to lay your hands on top of them, and you're going to say 1, 2, 3, go. Mm-hmm. And then everybody's going to start laying these cards down within the play space that you delineate based on the boundary cards that are here inside of the box. I can show you some here on the little green screen space. These do have some green on them, so this is going to be fun. So you can lay out the boundaries of the play area. That clear tent is actually a green tent.
Okay.
So you can play on the floor. The kids can play out in the driveway. You can play on a great big round table like this. You can play in a 4x6, whatever you want to do. It's a great con game because we spend a lot of our time at cons. So
That is very true. So what you're saying, though, is that with these corner spaces here is going to allow you to kind of adjust the size of the game that you're playing.
So if you're playing with a 2-player game, obviously we don't want to be playing on this great big table because we'll both be able to just have the easiest game that we've ever played before, right?
Right.
So we want to shrink it up a little bit that way. If we're playing 6 players, we want to make it nice and big. And then it also has these little obstacle cards in it. Now the obstacle cards are clouds, and they're, angry, distraught little guys that you throw out there wherever you want. And those are just things that you don't want to run into.
Understandable.
So
He looks very unhappy.
he is very unhappy. And this one's got an eye patch. He's probably unhappy because of the eye patch. Although he kind of looks like he's rocking it. It's kind of cool. So
I mean,
I kind of want an eye patch. I mean, I don't want an eye patch, but it would look cool.
the cloud chicks probably dig it.
I'd imagine. I've never met any cloud chicks, but I'll ask when I do. So yes, like I was saying, you got all these different colors of knights, 6 different colors. Everyone picks one, divide it into 2 piles, and then just start going at it. A game will go 2, 3, 4 minutes maybe.
Oh, that quick?
Yeah, that quick, because
wow.
it's real time. And then once it's said and done, you reset and go again.
So you mentioned the Tron Light Cycle vibe before. So this is a don't run into your opponent's trail, don't run into your own trail.
Don't go outside of the play area, because if you do, then you've crashed then as well.
I could see this being very chaotic, but in the good way.
It is.
Yeah.
Demoing it's a lot of fun. I usually have people, up out of their seats, standing around the table, yelling and shouting, and grown men and women. This is a family game. It's great because I can play this with my kids. I have a 6-year-old, and he can pick it up and run with it. And it's also got enough strategy involved because of the different, twists and turns with the cards that it keeps you thinking really quickly about spatial
Right, the
awareness.
fact that you can kind of customize the size of the playing area as well is something that you can change up and kind of increase or decrease the difficulty as you see fit, which that's really cool. So what would you say your favorite aspect of this game is, if you had to pick just one?
My favorite aspect of this game is that it takes my brain away from games that I normally play. So I'm not doing, Dungeons and Dragons here, or doing a great big dungeon crawler. I'm not doing Gloomhaven or something like that, which is great, and I love those things. But this is something that I can, bring over to the neighbor's house, and quick after dinner game that kind of is a game for gaming's sake.
Right, and it's not the super grim dark that a lot of games have a
Exactly,
tendency to
yeah.
be.
This has a pretty cutesy, fun theme to it. So.
Exactly. Well, very cool. Thank you for showing that one off. And I see that we've got something else here on the table.
Yes.
So what is this? This looks a little bit different on the scale
just
of things
a little
here.
bit.
And I'm gonna switch over to the board cam so we can see the box there.
Talked about the dark things going on there. So this here it's kind of everywhere in the shot. This is Doomseeker. Doomseeker is a card game, standalone card game for 2 to 4 players, based on the Warhammer Fantasy Battles license from Games Workshop. So it is Warhammer Old World. So not the Age of Sigmar stuff, it's Old World. And what you're doing is everyone is playing a Dwarf Slayer. And the object of the game is to die the most glorious death you can.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think
as a Slayer does, right?
Yeah.
So you're picking your Slayer, and you're going out and you're mowing down greenskins, and you're Skaven clan rats, and you're Chaos Warriors, and you want to take out as much as you can, and then at the end of the game, hopefully get eaten by a Chaos Dragon, because that sounds like a really cool way to die, as opposed to tripping and then getting
impaling yourself
by
on your axe or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more you kill, the more points you score, and then you also get to score whatever took you out.
So you're intentionally trying to die the most glorious death possible.
Exactly. So if the viewers or know anything about the lore for Warhammer, the Dwarf Slayers, that's their lot in life. They're seeking redemption by death on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. So they're out there to do just that. The cool thing about that, so this game, unfortunately I don't have the opportunity to lay it out and show it to everyone here, but it does have player elimination. But player elimination, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's not for me. This, you can, like I said, that you can trip on your own axe pretty early in the game, and that's okay. If that happens, you can still remain in the game by being able to wager on the outcome of other people's battles, and if you guess correctly, you continue to gain victory points. So it keeps you at the table, keeps you involved even after your character is technically out of the game. That's
really nice that mitigates probably the biggest issue that people have with player elimination games, where you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
It keeps you involved. So that's my favorite part of this game, aside from the setting. I'm a huge Warhammer nerd, so.
I know that the Warhammer tends to have like a pretty rabid fan base.
Just a little bit. A little bit, yeah.
All right, very cool. So is there anything else that you want to tell us about Warhammer Doomseeker?
Doomseeker is it's a Gen Con release, so that's the exciting thing that I want to tell everyone, is that you can pick it up at Gen Con.
So what's going to be the price point on that game?
It's $40.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, it's pretty good, so I like that reaction. That's great.
So how about Rainbow Knight, switching back to the first game? When can we see this? Where can we get it? And how much are we looking at?
Rainbow Knights has a worldwide street date of June 13th. So coming up real quick.
Right around the corner.
Right. And this is $20.
Okay, very good.
And, pick it up at your friendly local game store or online, ninjadivision.com. Wherever you can get it.
There you go. Trek down to your friendly local game store. Tell them you want to see some Rainbow Knights in there. Ninja Division. Ask for it by name. You know what to do, folks. All right. So is there anything else that you want to talk to us today about, Anthony?
I think I've covered everything I have to talk about.
Fantastic. So thank all of you for watching at home. Stay tuned for some more coverage coming throughout the day here at the PhD Speed Gaming event. And thank you so much for joining us again. We really do appreciate you taking the time to show off these games
Thanks
for us.
for having me.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.